Why do I feel like I linger?
Hey guys, so we're back today with a deck log video with Matthew.
Hello.
So he managed to hit top 8 in season 1 of WGP Malaysia. So thanks to Fuzzy Paradox, who has his website with all the tournament results. So what you can see from here, this is the top 8 card for WGP Deluxe 2023 season 1. So yeah, Matthew will be talking about his deck build and matchups, I think. So it's Matthew over here, right? You'll be like showing up you will be talking about more of your matchups and all that. Also, we'll be using deck log since Matthew doesn't have a proper webcam to show his cards, but we'll just leave it to him and like he'll explain how he fought through most of his matches, and like I'll just let you go with it.
Okay, so before we get to the matches, I'd actually like to just mention quick shout out to Mr. Dylan over here, is because before Overdress came out, he got most of us back into the game, like me and Royston specifically. We've been out of the game for a while, so was it when V was ending, right?
It was around when V was ending, not ending, but like I think it was around when Luat was topic.
Yes, Luat.
Yeah.
So back when Overdress first started out, it was very interesting, but there was no deck that really caught my attention. Because back then when I was still playing, I was a huge gear player as well as a DI player, but Barrow was not up to my liking, unfortunately. So when Chronojet was first revealed, I just knew I had to get the deck. So yeah, after November, I've basically been playing the deck for quite a few tournaments. Like if you recall Daivangasai, the past few WGPs and shop tournaments, I've just been basically playing this one deck. Yeah, so it's quite nice to actually hit something with it finally. So first I would actually just go through the ratios of why I play which. So the first thing, of course, is the grade 3 count, which is 3 Jets and 2 Balis. So at first I like to use 4 Jets because I like to confirm the next stage turn. But after I noticed that quite often in my games, I think Dylan also mentioned this, is that quite often a lot of players would like to go into next stage as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but I felt like Fate Rider's pressure, because on turn 2, when you call something down with him, it's a plus 30k, right? If I'm not mistaken, with the crest and everything. So I feel like that's pretty pressure. Dylan mentioned to me multiple times, it's like he feels a lot more pressure on that kind of turns. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously a 4 attack is better than like 3 attack. I mean
next
stage is 4 attacks, but when you go into next stage, you basically know what's coming. Where if you go into like Fate Rider, you can have more draws and everything else, you know. I think if I'm mistaken.
Yeah, but I do understand the amount, like drive checking 5 times is pretty strong, but like sometimes you just notice you don't have much triggers left, or like your deck is not really that thin. So yeah, it's always safer to go into Fate Rider, in my opinion. So after that is the basic grade 2 count. Generally speaking, the most cookie cutter builds will play 4 Upstream and 4 Argandia. So yeah, after that is the grade 1 count, which I find the most important, especially with the newest, one of the somewhat new additions, which is Sargon. Sargon skill basically states that when it boosts, you give the front row the ability to on hit soul charge 2 from drop, which is very, very useful for this deck. Like keeping your soul count is very important, so which allows you to draw a lot from it. And William, which actually taught me a very good combo. Just before the day, if I'm not mistaken, at the hotel, he says that I actually didn't see this before, but you could actually boost with grade 1 Sargon. Like for like an example, you actually can boost Fate Rider with it. And because it's technically already boosting, it gives the ability, so you can use Fate Rider to change it to grade 2. So besides additional on hit pressures, you actually have less rear guards for the gun giver to retire in that matchup. So it's pretty useful. So yeah, Sargon is definitely very important for this deck right now. After that, uh, besides Sargon, with the restrictions of Swirler and GG, I opted to play GG because one, Swirler is pretty expensive and I don't have him, and two, I feel that GG is pretty strong in the early game. GG is stronger in the late game, whereas Swirler is better in the early game. Like if I'm not mistaken, Dylan said like most of the matchups, especially in Malaysia, we actually saw a lot of Swirler variants, right?
Yeah.
In fact, I'll get onto that later. But another annoying, or like, not say annoying, but a problem I noticed with having multiple Swirlers and Gungan Rams is that in that variant, you're soul charging mostly from deck. I mean, basically only soul charging from deck, which has unfortunately always the soul charge triggers or soul charge even your OT, which is definitely not what you want to see. So yeah, moving on from that, besides GG is 3 Gungan Rams. I find with this specific build in mind, the grade 2 game is very important because generally, if a popular deck in this current meta is always Jet and Messiah will always be relevant. So you have to always know that potentially you're gonna play the grade 2 game. So like having a healthy number like right here is 4 and 3, you can guarantee a draw early game. So and just keep getting advantage from there. The trigger lineups is nothing special. It's the typical 8 crit 3 draws. But of course, in this meta, I find that counter heals for anti crits is pretty useful. Like, it's very good against Gandiva, Eva, and Zorga, specifically in mine. So, yeah, very good. However, with the coming metas, with Lista and Felty Rosa being added, it definitely loses some value. But I'm guessing with DBT 11, Eva is definitely going to keep popping up even more so. And then there's also Rorowa and Chaos to contend with. So I'd still believe that counter heals might still be a play. Another addition from Festival Collection actually was Evergreen Transfer, which is the new Regalis piece. So this card actually helped me out in one matchup, my first matchup, which is actually against Eva, where I believe his first grade 3 turn, I had an inkling that I might get OT for some reason. So I just put it down against his Eva attack, and lo and behold, he instantly just checks his Brand Gate OT. So, like, seeing his Obscurates one of them hitting for 2 crits, and one of them hitting for 4 crit, I could easily just, like, PG the 4 crit one and not insta-dive, which is always, like, Eva's best, like, scariest moments to deal with that deck. But however, it depends on the Eva player as well, because if they're not careful, if they are aware of this ruling, they can actually use the Brand Gates OT effect to ×2 first, and then give the 100 million. So we actually checked this ruling up, like we had to call a judge and everything. Like, yeah, it's also up on the official Bushiroad page. So yeah. So I think that's about it for the deck. But like, as for one thing I like to mention about Evergreen Transfer is because it's a blitz order, there is a small. You need to pay attention when you want to use the Elementaria PG because they're both orders. So I've not actually seen a build where they actually opted to use 4 normal PGs and the order here, so they don't actually run into the options. But because sometimes against guard restriction, decks and of course strike decks, the Elementary are still useful right now. So we need to experiment with that. So yeah, I think that's about it for the deck log, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, unless you want to like have anything else to say, or
I would say maybe that I have seen other variants of the Chronojet right now, but I haven't tested them out myself, so I cannot say much about them. It's like Causality Dragon from Festival Collection. It's actually an interesting tech you could use, but because it's a grade 3, I feel that the grade 2 game is not as strong. So, but it's still a good tech I've seen people use. The Right now, I'm looking forward to actually DBT 11, where there's a new grade 2 for specifically for Jet. So the deck definitely will change in time. So let's hope. Let's hope it, by the time finals is out for the because in top 8, if I'm not mistaken, every top 8 of all 4 seasons of WGP will be invited to finals, right?
yeah, by right that should be the case.
So let's hope I am okay. Let's hope that Jet is okay enough to be still used. So yeah. So I guess that's on to the matchups, I guess. So on to the matchups. It was basically the first match was, as I said, Eva. Second was Thagria. Third was Maelstrom. Fourth was Bruce. And fifth was Gandiva. All of this I actually somehow managed to go 5-0 up until this point, which is pretty surprising in my opinion. And I would say the most important match was actually match number 5 against Gandiva, which was Junho, which is actually Dylan's friend, funnily enough.
He's the one that got second place in the tournament.
Against Junho, okay, specifically against Gandiva, the matchup is really bad. Where it's basic, Gandiva's really good against strike decks. So the best thing you can pray for is that on their early game, just don't call anything and hope they don't hit 5 bind. And hopefully you get enough triggers go your way, which it actually did against Junho. I managed to OT him, and the next stage turn, he was at 3 counterblasted and I 3 counterblasted damage, so he had to guard he couldn't risk getting another crit on my drive check. So because of that, he did not take any damage, and he couldn't get back tempo from there. So I would say that was a very lucky game, and it's because I beat him specifically. Even though I lost twice, which is generally a very tough moment, because there was about, from people who placed from 7 to 28, everyone lost twice around there. The first guy was actually MLB, who had a full win, and 2 to 6, they had just 1 loss. So I was very lucky that I actually managed to beat Junho. So continuing after the 5th game, it was the next game I actually lost, which was against Ava. 7th was Chronojet, which was a win. 8 was another loss, which was Gandiva. And the 9th game was against Chronojet, which managed to take a win. So without going into too much detail, I would just like to mention about those Chronojet matchups. One of them was a Swirler variant. And because I would say he also got pretty unlucky because he couldn't draw into his Gungan Rams, but he actually tried to damage deny me since I was going second. But because every turn I managed to have at least either a GG or a Gungan Ram, and of course Sargon was behind my Vanguard the entire time, it's like it just became a matter of who could outgrind the other. And because I was most of the time getting back cards due to my grade 1 choice, I just out-tempoed him, and just finished him off one of the turns later. Against the 9th place the 9th game Chronojet, he was also using a GG variant like me. But the difference was that I actually managed to draw my pieces every turn, so I just won the out-tempo.
Mm-hmm.
The lot. So in the vlog video, hilariously, which is not out yet, after I was announced to get top 8, the boys still passed me Lucky Charms, which was nice.
Not the cereal.
Yes, not the cereal. They're Lucky Charm cards, so to speak. And unfortunately, that Lucky Charm, I don't know if it was the Lucky Charms, but I instantly matched up against the.
It was definitely the youth vote.
I matched up against Kelvin, which was the episode player who managed to take the whole tournament. So yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. I wouldn't say it was due to anything like me being like really unlucky, but my trigger checks are not the greatest. So yeah, episode's just really strong right now in this current meta. So I think that's all I have to say. Anything you want to add, Dylan?
No man, I'm good. I just like WGP season 1 was an eye opener for me.
Oh no!
But yeah, once again, congratulations to Matthew. He's currently the only one in Setsu who managed to get in to the top 8. So hopefully, I see more of our guys from Singapore side. Since me and William actually have a chance in Sabah, but I'm gonna try my best there with Youthberg. But we'll see how things goes. But after that, it's Singapore season 2. Then we'll see who in the who in the Singapore side gets in for that tournament, and hopefully they can pull a win there also. Anything else, Matthew? You wanna add on?
Not much, honestly. The only thing I can say is that I'm just really grateful to Dylan here for bringing me back into the game, because there was one WGP back then where I think I did really well, but after 2 losses I just kind of gave up, and and that was my Vanguard story basically in terms of going far in tournaments. So if not for the fact he decided to get back into the game and bring us back, I don't think this would have even happened if I didn't come back, of course. So yeah, thanks a lot, man.
Well, I'm glad you're happy.
No.
So I've been on quite a really bad losing streak with Youthberg, but I'm still gonna prove to people that the deck is still good and I can pull off a win. Not now, maybe not tomorrow, but one fine day. Anyways, that is basically the deck log. It's rewind time.
It's rewind time.
So this is the top 8 jet that the Malaysia top 8 jet that made it, and hopefully we'll see more of it in the finals of Malaysia WGP. So
Hey man, hope to see you too.
you'll see me with the Youthberg hopefully. It's I've been practicing quite a bit here and there. I recently just finished a tournament. I did pretty well, if it wasn't for luck. But yeah, instead of me rambling on, I will probably come to a conclusion where I will do a Youthberg decklog video and talk about why I choose to run certain cards, because I've noticed that my deck build is very different compared to how a Japanese list is, and maybe I'll talk about that more when I choose to do a deck build for it. Hopefully maybe after set 12 when there's new cards. Then thanks for watching. Please subscribe and ring that bell, man. Bye.
Bye.
I wonder what went wrong today, eh? Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say the words to remember. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything and lose it all, lose it all.